Cyber season is in full swing with our pals Isotope and Native Instruments.
Get huge discounts on everything from Guitar Rig 7,
Complete 14 bundles,
and one of our favorites here at the Cult and Culture Podcast,
Ozone 11 EQ. Go to isotope.com
and nativeinstruments.com
to feast on the audio goodness. Yum.
You can also get additional savings on other softwares by using the code
RUIN10.
DistroKid now also has a motherfucking app. The DistroKid app is available for iOS and Android. You can download it at distrokid.com/app/, or you can get it in the App Store.
Fuck. All right, we're rolling.
Planet B
Presents
Cult and Culture Podcast.
Welcome to episode 36 of the Cult and Culture Podcast. I'm Justin Pearson.
And I'm Luke Henshaw.
This episode features our band, Planet B.
Eek.
I saw a man swallow another man. Fucker didn't even have a real plan. He ate shit just like a caveman. His stupid books will never know when it began. My hate is a monkey full of shit. System decay. My hate is a monkey full of shit. System decay.
It's pretty weird having ourselves and our own band on a podcast, but I think it is warranted. And besides, fuck everybody, we can do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
But our band's interesting.
Listen to the album.
Yeah.
It sounds like we did anything we wanted.
Yeah. But our band's interesting in the way that how we write and what we do as our output, I guess, and the two live drummers, and I don't know, the whole thing is pretty bizarre.
Yeah, I didn't imagine it like that in the beginning, but that's cool.
It took its own path and made something. And people people will probably like our band in about a decade, and then we'll be successful. No, I say that and half jokingly because I feel like the way that you measure success is wrong. We love what we do, so we do it. But yeah, so two of my favorite drummers, Kevin and Scott from Planet B, both just ripping, got to have a conversation with us about how weird our band is.
Yep. Cool. I don't think there's not too much more to say about that one.
We do have a new record that's out. It took us a long time, and it has a bunch of our friends on it. We would appreciate it if you checked it out, and if not, it's your loss.
And a new split 7-inch as well.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff happening. Cool. Well, thank you, and enjoy the podcast.
Yep.
Hey, I'm JP.
I'm LH. Wow. Hey, I'm Luke Henshaw, Planet B.
Kevin Avery, Planet B.
I'm Scott in Planet B.
Cool. Where did this all begin? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just start this.
Dive into it.
I will. I'm diving in. It's interesting to be in a band with 3 drummers. So that's the thing that I would like to approach. How I'd like to approach it because, I think I've obsessed over bands with multiple drummers, and so I pushed Luke to let this happen because he was kind of controlling it for a minute, and I thought the Melvins having 2 drummers was the coolest thing. It was like very symmetrical, but also just bands with like extra percussion was always cooler to me as a kid, except for Grateful Dead. I thought that was boring, but still is cool though. You know, I was like, oh shit, they got 2 people doing it. Because they have 2 guitars and sometimes 2 singers, like whatever band, but you know,
boring.
2 drummers, fucking cool. But we have 3, and people don't really always know what the hell you're doing, Luke. So do you want to go into this and explain your button pushing?
Yeah, that's what it is. Button pushing. No, I mean, we play with the 2 live drummers, and then I just kind of center it in the middle with kick snares, hi-hats, and sometimes I do play bass and the sounds and all of that, but the drum sounds that I use, I don't think you can get on a live drum set. So I think that's where I'm needed.
Sure. Like coming from hip hop stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is I mean, for me, like, I guess my reference point would be like I don't even know what bands I would pick, but it is the sequence drums, which I feel like in a lot of modern music, like dance music, people have become accustomed to hearing fake kick and snares, and it's fucked up a lot of shit for people. So you have bands playing to sequenced stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of whack. So we fucked up everybody and have like 2 drummers and the sequence drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to explain it. It's just, that's how it just came out, I think. I mean, originally there were no live drummers.
No. Yeah.
And then
Did you guys do shows like that?
No, the first show we played was just playing part of the score to Incompressa, and it was with Gabe on drums and me on bass and singing, and Luke.
I saw a picture of you playing with a upright bass.
That's fake. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't do that shit. I played like
That's
with
a
my
fake
regular
thing?
bass. We played at a library. It was fucking weird.
Yeah, but that
Have you
was
seen that picture?
No.
There's a picture of you with an upright bass.
Yeah.
You know that picture.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we did play 2 Planet B songs with Gabe.
Yeah. The 2 from the 7-inch.
Mm-hmm. And
Which-
then we had Jung the second time at the library.
And that was
Playing
a
drums?
hodgepodge of shit. Yeah, I don't even know what our set was.
I
We were
don't
trying to
either.
play part of the score to the film the first time with Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, I think we had like real songs.
Yeah.
The Jung thing was fine, but we needed to like really do it right.
When was that?
Also, we didn't know better, or we should have known better, because we played at a fucking library, San Diego Public Library.
Again.
Twice, the first 2 shows.
When was that? When was that?
A long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
2017.
Were there the songs that were on like the first record?
There were the
those made
songs
yet, or
on the
just the
7-inch.
film, the film
The
score
Join a
stuff?
Cult with the moon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So 2 songs from that, and then a bunch of the score material.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also like they were showing in Compressa, so we played as
Before
part
the-
of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
part of the
Right.
film. And the second time was a real show. It was like, which was crazy too, because Author and Punisher played, and like in the library, it just didn't really sound great. No offense to the library or Author and Punisher or us, it just was a bad.
No, the sound guy at the library was a complete fucking dick and dicked us out.
That's sick.
But also on top of that, though, it just was even like talking to Tristan. He was like, "Yeah, this is weird. There's no
Yeah.
PA."
That one was for Sam's.
No, the noise.
Stay Strange. or-
Yeah. It was like a noise show,
Mm-hmm.
and so we fumbled through that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Crazy.
then we were doing like Planet B night. It was like, hey, we would DJ, and
Oh yeah.
and then
I saw those.
we wrote a record in that a real record, and we were like, we should probably be a band. So we got this fucker.
Yeah.
That's where Kevin comes.
That kind of sounded like Rodney Dangerfield a little bit. Like, hey, we DJ. Hey, we're DJs. We get no respect.
I mean, I just pushed play. I didn't give a shit.
And then and then I don't know. You introduced me to Kevin.
Yeah.
And then he was here.
We were still doing Retox at the time, I guess, and so
Oh, yeah.
I think that might have been part of it. Because we Retox played a Planet B night, and with Santa, we had like
Oh,
We had-
Oh, that was
Yeah.
bad. That
Yeah.
was
Oh.
that was good, yeah.
Yes.
We had Black
Space-
Santa.
Space
that was
Bar?
great. It's Space Bar, yeah. It was
Yeah.
fucking cool, and everyone took photos. I think
Yeah.
Graf Orlock played. It was a good night. It was fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
good.
And
I
I was
played
like,
with Tension,
yes,
and Rick Scales played.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a loaded show.
Was that one of the like your
Planet B night.
It was a
Yeah.
Planet B night.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but we had most of the LP written and maybe like recorded or out. I don't know if it was. No, it wasn't out yet, but it was like, yeah, we had like actual songs. And now we're finally moving on to record number 2 with both you guys on it, and it's kind of weird. It took so long, but you know what? Good things come to those who wait.
We'll see. We'll see.
But it's weird to like think about all of our musical tastes and how varied it is, and how we kind of can come together on one thing. I don't think a lot of bands can do that. It's pretty bizarre. I hate the stuff you like.
You hate this band. I like this band.
Race cars.
Yeah, race cars. Nope.
Yeah.
I like it though.
So there's that.
I have a question for Kevin.
Yes, Luke.
Since,
Yes, Luke.
No. Since you were the first drummer originally to come on, like, how did you feel? Like, it just felt like you're much younger than us. And
I still got a bunch of questions about like the history. I still don't even know, because I know that the library shows you mentioned, but I still don't know exactly what the concept was of Planet B. Like the way you described it back then, I was just like, okay, so I guess I'll just sort of. I think I have an idea, but it's like a lot of like happy accidents type style, where it's just like, I guess I'll try and play, and then knowing that Gabe was involved, it's like, okay, those are some big shoes to fill, so let's. I think this is what you're looking for, and then jumping in. I don't know. I don't know what you're looking for.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying
either.
to. I don't. I've been grateful to be graced with all the projects I've been in. Have great drummers, and so that was obviously a no-brainer. But the thing I forgot about was, so for Incompressa, Gabe and I wrote 2 songs. They're like punk kind of songs that were for the film, and so we had like these 2 songs, and then we had Planet B as a thing, but we were doing the score. So we had kind of like the Incompressa 7-inch came out, and the Planet B 7-inch. So there's 4 like normal songs, but we took these like punk songs, and Luke played over them with samples.
And then when you were doing that, was there an idea of like actually taking it, like making it a live thing beyond studio?
It's
No,
fun.
it
It wasn't. We were like just gonna do a studio thing, and he kept pushing to be a band, and I was like, man, fuck this, because I kind of learned. Well, I learned the hard way with All Leather, which was similar, sort of.
Yeah.
In the electronic world of stuff, it fucking sucked playing. No offense to the Che, but like playing the Che, you need subs. You need like a killer sound system.
You need a sound system.
So we
not
played
an
the
amp.
2 shows at the library, and I was like, man, fuck that shit.
But
like,
from before that, I can talk about this, but like the origin of it was us meeting, and then
Where was that?
well,
I don't know.
no, it's, that was your studio.
Yeah, I was at my studio, and my old cocaine dealer brought you by, and which I always frowned upon because I hated people bringing people by.
I don't know why he brought me by.
I don't
do
know
cocaine.
either.
Yeah, it was
but
weird.
I'm glad now, you know. But then it was like, oh, dude from the Locust, and then you and I were just kind of talking, and then we ended up doing the Pig's Orphan remix.
Okay.
Oh
And
yeah,
then-
you're on that.
And then
That's
I was
right.
shooting you a bunch of like different beats.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until you came here and did the Incompressa, and then we started like.
It
Or the
took a
Pig's
minute, but it took a
Orphan.
minute to get there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So my problem, and it's not my problem with Luke, but like the stuff Luke made was so rad. He made like I remember you sent me like a cumbia and a Britney Spears thing, and maybe it's the same, but there was like a Britney Spears cover, and I was like, these are fucking killer, but they were very like chill. And so I kept trying to. He was like, sing on them, and it was just some asshole yelling on this shit that wasn't like aggressive. So I was like, this is really difficult for me to
Yeah.
justify my voice on this.
Yeah, the point was for you to sing at 120 and my beat would be at 60 BPM.
Yeah, but what do you mean?
Well, if like that's was the way I did all those Britney Spears tracks
Yeah.
and the Janet Jackson
Oh, so you would
and all that shit.
speed up my voice?
Yeah, their voice would be, they would be singing at like 120, which is typical dance shit.
Yeah.
And then I would make a beat that was at 60 BPM and it would match up.
Okay, but my problem was just me yelling and
Yeah,
being very
that's what I
aggressive. I
wanna
can't.
do.
I couldn't
Yeah,
tone it down.
yeah.
I was like, I'm not a singer, so I was like, I'm just some jerk yelling over this fucking cool. I would love to do a Britney Spears cover. We tried. We played it the one time
Right.
with you.
Yeah, it was cool.
Eh.
I mean, yeah, one of those things where like
Now we could probably do it.
Yeah.
like
we
the
approached
recording
it-
was cool. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Let's do it
it's
for the
still worth
Christmas
trying it
show.
out. Let's do it again.
It's a good song. It was cool to do a Britney song, and people responded to it, but it was still like, I don't think it was executed very well. Maybe not. I'm not like criticizing anybody in specific. I just think it needed some work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we got there.
And then Kevin came in.
Well, I never knew. So, you guys, I just assumed you guys always knew each other for a very long time. I didn't know it was like just like a year or so before the Planet B stuff started
Couple
coming
years,
in the
maybe.
works?
Yeah, it took a couple years.
I think we had just started playing in Retox together, and then I was meeting up with Luke.
Oh.
Because you had Brian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it was a couple years with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Brian,
Because
Evans.
even
Was in his
remember,
band?
yeah.
No, he wasn't in Planet B, but he was around.
Mm-hmm. And then I remember you telling me, you're like, yeah, Retox got this dude drummer, and he just hit us up, and he showed up to rehearsal.
No.
and knew all the songs.
Yeah, that was crazy because we fucking parted away with Brian, and then all of a sudden you sent us this video of you playing, and I was like, there's another drummer that's like a bit more handsomer than Brian, long hair, playing an acrylic Ludwig drum set like Brian, and playing all this shit right, and I was like, who's this guy? It's like he did us a solid by.
Well, he
finding us.
made it sound like it was like, all right, I'm gonna let the guys know they're expecting the video.
He did not
He
know.
didn't say anything. He just gave me your email. I'm like, all right, here it
Yeah,
is.
that's what I remember writing you back, being like, "Hey, I don't mean
Which
to be a
is
dick,
funny,
but who
dude.
the fuck are you?" And
I want to start doing that for people. Just like here's their email. They're expecting your message. Just go ahead and send it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when we parted ways, Brian did not end well, and so we were like,
Mm-hmm.
"Who is this random guy sending us a video that we could really use this guy in our band?" And it was great.
Yeah.
We upgraded to a
That's-
much more handsomer version, much more sane.
That's how I came on the scene. And then this guy.
I was just asked to do it.
That was the first. What was the first one we did? It was like
At Blonde Bar.
just before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March 5th, 2020. First rehearsal, first time listening to the songs was March 3rd. And we were only supposed to do like 2 songs or whatever. and
Yeah,
then
we were
I
gonna,
just
like-
kind of picked it up.
We started rehearsing the set, and we're like, "Let's just do half with you," and then we're like, "Just do one more." I'm like, "We just do it all."
Yeah. And I think we did we go over it the next day? We might have. Maybe not. And then, then it was like, okay, let's go to the show. That was it. It was,
We also were
It's
very
crazy.
dependent on a sound engineer. We had Luke Daly working with us.
Yeah.
And he fucking saved because otherwise it would have been like whoever was doing sound on cocaine at fucking Blonde Bar, and not knowing what's going on. I was like, oh, we got to make it really good because Weasel Walter was playing.
Oh, yeah.
But not playing drums,
Yeah,
but still,
playing
as a
guitar.
drummer, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, we got to like, because I
Impress him.
hate that shit, man, when there's like, it's fine when there's like random people, but when there's like, your peers and the crowd, you're like, we have to be really good for that person. And I was like, Weasel is a son of a bitch in a great way, but he's like very critical and hates everything and everything sucks. And I was like, we need to fucking be ripping. And I think, I mean, he didn't say we sucked, so I guess we did all right.
Yeah, that was right before everything got shut down.
it was
next day.
It was like,
I went to see Photocrime the next day, and then that night was like, oh, at midnight, everything's like got to shut down.
I bet everyone at Blonde Bar had COVID, just we didn't know or care
Maybe.
at the time.
Yeah.
That was
They had
pretty
than,
wild.
They had more than COVID. Yeah. Weird.
That was my first show, and then everything happened. And then I think a month or so later, I came over and recorded the LP. Basically, or came over for like the afternoon when I used to live in LA. And came
I
out.
do want to talk about like how you track them and then just cut everything up. But I would like to also say, before you came onto the scene, we had done the record, mastered it, everything, and we were sitting on it, and no one wanted to put it out because
first
like,
LP.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "What is this?" And it was so frustrating because it's like it's kind of punk, it's kind of industrial, kind of hip hop, but what is this? And I mean, I get it was a new band, but like nobody would put it out. And I always like, well, all right, 31G will put it out. But the thing that was fucked up was like, well, in a good way, I was on tour with Dead Cross, and Patton was like, oh, I'll just put it out. It makes sense. And so we lucked out by putting it out on Ipecac, and that kind of propelled us to be like a real band as much as we could. We probably could have done more at the time, but I think, yeah, what all kinds of shit got in the way. So, yeah, and so here we are again, and the shit is not quite in the way, but we got it. Another record ready to go, second record,
Locked and loaded.
which is much better. But I'm already thinking like how it could be even better.
Me too.
Yeah, a couple songs I'm like, oh man, we missed it on that one or this one, but these ones. But yeah, maybe take a second to talk about, because you just track drummers playing, and then it's crazy to watch you work, because you will find this little tiny nugget, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did you get that? And then you'll I don't know. You can explain it because
Yeah.
it's bizarre.
Fuck.
You
Well,
don't want to give away your secret.
I'm definitely
sauce.
not going to give away my fucking secrets. But I do find a lot of like percussion pieces that I fucking love and I dig, and then I just chop them up. And what's funny is because after the first Planet B came out, I was like not over it, like it was just like, I don't think I can do a second one. I don't think I can do a fucking second album, or at least not right now. And then this guy posted a fucking drum. I remember, like, I'm going to the studio and I have nothing to do, and I was not in the mood to even touch any kind of Planet B shit. And this guy on Instagram posted this drum beat, and I went and came here, hooked up my phone to that drum beat, and that's what sparked the very first song of this new album. And then that's what got me into being like, yeah, let's do a second album.
So, because on the first album, there's only, it's like Manure Rally and then maybe Come Boogeyman that have two like drum lines like intertwined, right? Like,
No, all of them do. I mean, there's Gabe. Manure Rally is Ginger Baker. It's from a Ginger Baker documentary.
yeah, the ride part, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, and also we used some of Martin Atkins on
his stems.
yeah. But
which are from two different songs.
yeah, but for the most part, I felt like it was always one acoustic drum line and then synthetic, like a, I don't know, like 808 or something. Laid on, but it wasn't like two like full beats where there's like I don't know.
Most of it's layered, as where the new one has the two different beats with these two guys.
Yeah.
And then the MPC, so 3. It gets pretty chaotic. I mean, fuck. I guess, I mean, it's not a big fucking secret, but both of these guys know, and Gabe, I did the same thing with Gabe, is I just tell them to fucking record.
Yeah. Like a BPM, right?
Yeah, say, hey, this BPM. And then I go walk to the liquor store and go get us some beers. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, okay, let's switch the BPM. Take a break. And then we go and cut it up. And then you came a second time after you came on the album. You came a second time and relayered the shit with the electronic drums.
Scott or Kevin?
Scott.
Yeah.
I only remember going once I was here for the whole afternoon. I remember you were like, okay, I got these 7 songs, do whatever you want. I did a million takes on each one, and then I assume you just like took your favorite parts, and then we did that where you just like left for a little bit while I jammed.
Yeah.
I only remember that. Also, the past 3 years has been chaotic, so I only remember the one time. The Planet B one was crazy because I recorded that all myself. Or the fucking the adult split, I recorded all that myself, and
yeah, that you recorded at home.
that one I recorded at home.
And then Kevin came in, and you recorded that at home too, right?
Oh,
Or did
at
you
home
record
was
that
when
here?
you were living out.
Yeah,
out
when I
both?
was living
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, I remember recording that and then just being like, "Oh, cool, they used it. That's crazy." I just I recorded this dinky ass thing in like
Yeah.
my parents' basement. And it's like on a 7-inch. I was like, "This is wild," and it was funny to
That's
hear
where
it.
all the hits are made now in fucking parents' basements.
I mean, I do the hits now in my RV, but I remember playing the beat that I have and then hearing what it ended up being, and it's pretty different.
Yeah.
But we were all like, you sent me this like line, whatever the line is, the bass line or whatever. And so I just played along straight to that, and then it got shifted. But that's basically how this band works for me. Is I just come over, hang out, and or just send some stuff and go like, I don't know, and then
We should take a second
see
to
you
say
later.
how we love Adult. I love them so much.
oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
great.
They are the best.
Yeah, they're so
Follow.
rad.
Ugh. Yeah.
But
For a
that-
band with no drummers, they're the best.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke because we did kind of talk about that, but I don't want to talk anymore about it because it's top secret. So the layering of the drummers is fucking crazy. The electronic shit, it's like, because also too with the way you make drums, you'll put like kick on top of kick on top of kick on top of kick or snare or whatever, and it's just like insane shit. So I think we're all used to hearing certain kinds of snares and kicks, and what you hear is something I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, it almost moves into the non-musical realm of sound. I think.
Most of them aren't. Like, I mean, I spent time. I mean, I used to mic up my washer and dryer and slam the doors and being like, there's a snare, you know, and then I built a library over years and years of just kicks. Or I remember when my son was small, I used to have a portable DAT, and I would just mic it, and when I would take him to the playground, I would fucking stomp my hand on the slide or get a drumstick and ring it through a fence, and I'd be like, this is the hi-hat. And then over years I just built sounds. But don't get me wrong, I still sample records and anything I can get my hand on. I used to fucking have a 4-track recorder from Cartoon Network when my son was watching cartoons, and I would just sit and record 30 minutes of cartoons, and when he'd go to bed I'd fucking go and listen
and
to
find
it
a little tiny piece.
Dude, I set my sampler to like at 1/4 of a second and just get that little beep, and then you slow it down and it comes you know, and it's like, oh, there's the bass. And then
But it's funny to think about that, because when Headwind City recorded with Ross Robinson, you think like Ross Robinson's a huge producer, and we recorded, and he was like having Gabe and I do percussion on his washer and dryer. Like, here, come and add shit on top of the drums of these pieces. And it was really funny to think that we were just fucking around on a washer and dryer. He also used the Eddie Van Halen guitar head in front of the kick drum to keep it in place, which is probably not a normal like industry move, you know.
I would do that with his amp head.
Yeah. Some people like those heads.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah. So we should get a sponsorship from Roland, but they don't give a fuck about us yet. But the rehearsals are nice with 2 of those Rolands. What is the versions that we?
Yeah,
The TD27.
Yeah.
With the VOD 503s, which is the.
But we'll take the next step up too if they want.
Oh yeah, the 506 or
whatever.
or whatever the ones after that.
whatever's newest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the the TD50 with the XLR outs.
They won't take my calls though. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about lyrically on the album? Like, what was your? I'm sure you don't have an exact approach to it, but the lyrics to me came out. I don't know. Your lyrics are all over the place, but in this album itself, it has a little more. There's some lines that really stand out to me, and it was just like, fuck, because you write at home.
Yeah.
So what was your approach? Because I had a whole different approach in writing the music on this, and then I started shaping it kind of after. I heard your lyrics, and I'm like, oh, ease up here, rev it up here.
Interesting. I mean, it's a fucked up world, so it's easy to get inspiration, which is unfortunate. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that I draw from. Like for me, I like to address. I mean, it's all to me. The personal is the political, so it is all political in a sense. I like to hide it in humor. So when I talk about like buttholes and farting and whatever, like. I'm talking about like politics, and so it like translates a little bit better. But I also like mean lines. I like saying like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give things away, but there's certain lines like, just fuck you kind of thing. Not so stripped down.
Gotcha,
like,
die or at least resign.
Yeah, like that's a good one.
It's a good one, yeah.
It sounds tough and it's very impactful, I think. But I like to use metaphors, and I also like to have reoccurring ones. And I don't criticize this, but like there were times where you were like, you're saying the same thing, and I'm like, but I like to always sing about these kind of topics. There's a couple of lyricists that I grew up really liking. How and I don't want to name them because one of them I don't like, and the other one I don't want to give it away, but like they would have like albums that like thematically talk about the same kind of stuff, and I liked that. I made it like its own language, sort of. So every time you were talking about, I don't know, like I'm trying off the top of my head, I'm like struggling to think of something. But like if you're talking about like chocolate, I don't know, whatever. Like it meant, it was always like, let's talk about like, well, okay, not to rip anybody off or to expose anyone, but like I remember like Aaron Montaigne from Antioch Arrow on the last Antioch Arrow record just sang about all this candy, and I thought it was so bizarre, and I don't know what the fuck he was ever singing about, but he was, I just thought, oh, that might be an interesting way to like approach it. Instead of saying like you hate cops, you could say something about, I don't know, candy or whatever, like just kind of spin it differently. But there's a couple things that I know what they're about in the lyrics that were like Trump era politics, and I'm like, oh man, it's so weird that fucker got into these lyrics. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. There's just certain phrases you're like, oh, I know what that's about. But also, like, we wrote a lot of it during the pandemic. There was a lot of shit, like white power shit, that I was fucking hating, and there's a lot of stuff about race. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about race that comes up in it. I don't know. I mean, it's just, look at the world we live in. Yeah. The environment too. Also, like the theme of Planet B, like as like this thing, like the planet is fucked, and so there's a lot of that, like doom, kind of like we're
Planet B being Mars, where Elon's going.
No,
maybe no. Well, there is this movie called I forgot what the movie's called, but in Another Planet or something, but they have like Earth 2 in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty rad. So before even like Planet B was a term that people use now for the environment, I was, when I thought of the name Planet B, I didn't know that there was like a term as it is. I got it from that film where they kept saying like Earth 2, and there was like this mirrored other Earth, but it had the same human inhabitants on both planets. But I thought like, oh, instead of like a band called Earth 2, Planet B, and I was like, that's cool, and like that's why I suggested that before it was a thing.
Earth 2 would be funny because there's the band Earth
2.
Yeah.
Like number 2.
I hated the fucking name Planet B.
I hated it too, and
I was
still
like,
kind of
no, but I'm like, we don't have a name, but I like it now. It grew on me.
Yeah.
Being like the new guy, the newest of the new guys.
Are you the youngest? How old
we're
are
almost the same. We're like the same age. Yeah. I'm 31, 32 in a month or so.
I'm 31, 32.
I'm 30. No. I'm
no,
30,
not your gene size.
33. What is it? The end of November. So in like 3 weeks, I'll be 32.
Oh, cool. How old are you?
How old are you?
32.
You're 32 right now?
Yeah, 32.
You're older than
like actually?
Physically?
You're physically 32 years old?
I don't know, man. Yeah.
All right. So, so I'm the new guy and I'm the youngest in the band. But who cares? My thought on the band before the name, and it kind of works like aesthetically. Plus, the new 7-inch aesthetically, I think is also this like, and like the sounds that you do usually. I don't know. Planet B kind of alludes to like sci-fi and Earth 2, and so the name's perfect with the music, and like the artwork of the first LP is like like a skeleton guy in some green background thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
but that's what it looks like when you're just some guy. Like I'm just some like when that came out, I was like, oh, cool, whatever,
That's an interesting one though too, because he took the photo, right? Didn't you take it or something?
My brother took it. I was there. My brother took the photo.
To me, it looks like some guy coming out of like in a green world.
He's in a crematory.
Yeah, it was like a real photo.
It was really being burned, the body.
Oh, okay.
But it was like a
but it's green.
Well, we asked Brand to change the color. It was all orange and stuff, and I was like, oh, make it green, because that seemed like sci-fi.
Yeah. So that okay, cool. So that's what you guys were going for, like.
But I wish, like it didn't. I mean, it's cool to know the history of the photo, but like if you don't know the history of the photo, it doesn't seem as rad. It like just looks like.
To me, it looks like some guy coming, maybe a fucked up guy.
Yeah.
In a green world.
Yeah.
But he's like Planet B.
Sideways, right? Laying down.
He's laying down. You're like, oh, maybe this dude's laying down, or is he crawling? Like I didn't really know. So it's a little like not super detailed, which is cool, but it looks like a planet, like, oh, Planet B sucks.
And then the font is, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, it looks like, oh fuck, Planet B is awful. Look at this dude getting all fucked up over here. And then like the aesthetic of like the 7-inch, the next one coming out is like very like and the LP artwork is like, I don't know, there's like sci-fi from the 60s kind of vibe.
Sure.
And then I think some of the sounds that you tend to use, not always, have that kind of like sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is like pretty cool. And then nobody's doing that. And then also, was it? I think one time you told me your references are like Public Enemy and in NWA or something. Didn't you say that? Or some your musical references?
I love those two bands.
Yeah.
I love them too, but
I think because we were on tour with a different band, and I was like, yeah, this is the hip hop I like, and then you were like, this stuff is boring.
No, I didn't say boring. I just thought the music was
different.
lazy.
Yeah, and
well, that's boring.
yeah, and
What?
so but
Lazy?
then
Yeah.
then you were like Planet B, like we're trying to go for like the more like hard, like maybe like NWA or something, like those kinds of
To me,
harder sort of stuff.
I think I referenced Public Enemy. Sorry, but like
Public
Public
Enemy.
Enemy is so layered. There's so much
Yeah.
density to it. Like
Yeah.
the stuff you were playing was like you could hear like the one drum line and the one synth line and the rapper.
Yeah, it's
and I was
great.
like, why isn't there just more shit happening?
Yeah. But once I understood that, then I was like, okay, so these guys are trying to combine, because I'd already recorded all my parts to this LP, and I was just like playing drums or something. And then, but once you told me like, oh, the reference points are like Public Enemy and other stuff like that, and then with your sci-fi sounds, I was like, oh, they're like, this is supposed to be like harder hip hop from the future or something. Or a 60s version of sci-fi.
It's the campy like
semi
sci-fi.
campy, but like kind of harder. And then I was like, oh, okay, I think I kind of get what this is about.
Well, to me, and I don't know if this is like a fucked up thing to say, and I'm not trying to say we're like good like Public Enemy, because I think they're the best, one of the best. But like I really do feel like Planet B is a lot like Public Enemy with the layers and the sounds, if that makes sense. Maybe if Public Enemy doesn't seem sci-fi, but like they have like horns and they'll sample like other things like that I feel like are sort of similar to what we're doing.
It's more like the kind of hip hop stuff I was listening to, like Milo and stuff, and Rap Ferreira is sort of like minimal.
Yeah,
and then
minimal, yeah.
and then maybe Public Enemy is like maximal hip hop. yeah. And then Planet B is like definitively maximal.
Yeah.
Maximal.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's like so layered. And it's like it seems like it's just like it's like a lot. It's like a whole chunk. Like you look at a waveform, you're like that's what I thought about it before I was in it, and then once I got a little bit more insight about what your references were, and I was like, oh, I see what this band is. Kind of an interesting thing. And this is this is only the second LP, so it's still figuring out what is going on.
Are we breaking up after this?
No, well maybe we
I have
could.
to write another album.
You know what? This is kind of strange. I mean, because all of our reference points are maybe Luke's and I's are similar, but like for me, I was obsessed with Public Enemy, and I remember they did that tour with Anthrax, and that fucking song was probably the start of rap metal, which is a drag. But I remember seeing them play with Anthrax's drummer, and I was just like, "Fuck, man!" Like Public Enemy with a drummer is sick. And that was when I was 16, and it stuck with me, and I was like, hip hop with a fucking ripping drummer is so sick.
And then you're like, let's get two. Let's just one up Public Enemy
Yeah,
and Anthrax.
I mean, we need it. I mean,
Well, if one of you guys would wear a clock.
that would. Well, I also wish we had a second singer, and Luke won't let that happen. But it'd be fucking rad to have a second singer.
Damn.
I know, a second singer would be so sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be like a real band.
I know. But
And then a second MPC.
Yeah,
Well,
then
if
we
you
need,
want- you already have two MPCs,
We need a
but yeah.
third and a
Oh,
fourth.
we'll call ourselves Mirrors.
Okay.
Planet C.
There is the funny thing about Howard Stern when he had Dale Crover on. He was like, "You were in Nirvana. Why couldn't one drummer do it? Like, why'd they need two? Are you like a terrible drummer?" And it's just funny like to hear. I mean, Howard Stern's cool and stuff, but like he couldn't understand like why you would want two drummers. And I was like, dude, Dale Crover and was it Dale Crover and what's his fuck from.
Cody but that was in Melvins.
Oh, he was talking about Melvins.
Melvins.
So he was like,
Nirvana
yeah,
didn't do that. Yeah.
So it was Melvins, and then he was like, which is fucked up because he's talking about like all of these sick ass drummers, and doesn't understand that like just get two sick ass drummers together. It's fucking cool. And he didn't understand that. You only need one. I don't know. It's like what's his name? He had Robin, right? That was his like sidekick.
Oh, it's Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, yeah. Like what? You need Robin to fucking make your.
I feel like
Or all
he
these
knows.
writers?
He's saying dumb. He's asking dumb questions, just like intentionally.
You think he knew?
Because I've heard clips like that where he says stuff where I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you're just trying to provoke. Like,
Maybe.
Totally.
Maybe he was fucking with.
he's
Dale.
done that with
Yeah.
like a couple of those. Anytime he has like a rock legend on, he always asks one question where it's just like, you should really know
He acts
better.
oblivious.
He acts, yeah. But no.
Okay, so I fucked it up because he was giving Dale a hard time about leaving Nirvana, and now I was like, "What the fuck? Why was he like saying the 2 drummer thing?" So then he was saying like, "Well, I don't know Dale's lineage, but I guess he left Nirvana, but was doing Melvins or started Melvins right after, whatever it was."
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like Melvins ended up. Well, I guess during the podcast or when he had him on the interview is when he was with Cody.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Man, your head is so far up your ass if you can't understand you have 2 sick ass drummers." Together.
Nah, that's a good, because that pissed me off when I first heard that, and I'm just like, he should know better. And then like a week later, I was like, oh, he did know. He's just trying to provoke. I was just like, it like sat in my head. I'm just like, so I think the clip title is just like Howard asking like why, like, oh, this drummer probably feels dumb that Nirvana was about to become the biggest band, and it's like, how do you feel knowing that you would have been? It's like, I bet it would have been like being the whatever Beatle that could have been the 5th Beatle or whatever, like. And no, I think it's just Howard just provoking.
Because if Howard had to have seen the 2 of them play together, and I think no matter where you are on the spectrum of liking or not liking music or understanding it, seeing the 2 of them play symmetric like that was just so obviously musical, but also just like artistically laid out for people to enjoy. And that was like I think like, yeah, so I see what you're saying, which comes back to like our last show we played where we started trying to set up with you guys facing each other, which I mean, utilizing 2 drummers on having 2 drummers on a stage is always kind of odd, but like making it look in a symmetrical, interesting way, because I was a big fan of like this isn't 2 drummers, but Phantomos, they had Lombardo's gigantic kit and they would put them hard left. And then they'd have the whole band across the stage, but the drums were always on the side. And I was like, that's bizarre and very cool. And so I think we finally have figured out a way to make that.
Well, I think if maybe if we had a little more design sensibilities, we could find a way to, because it is a unusual setup with like your station being that you have to commit, you need to have your space. And then we're 2 right-handed drummers that could be, I don't know how we can.
The first show we played, we shared a cymbal.
And I like that because that was an idea where
we stole
a right-handed
ripped
and
off
a
Cody
left-handed
and-
drummer.
Oh,
Yeah.
you ripped them off. But
Yeah,
we were
we
also
ripped it off.
crammed on the fucking small stage.
Yeah, but we didn't need to be. We could have done it different.
Yeah, there was the
We
first
didn't need
show.
to be-
You were over here, I was over here, something like that.
Yeah, we were sharing the crash.
But
Yeah.
I think we could we could plan how to adapt to like if you do have like a weird triangular bar stage situation or a big stage, how we could make it where it's, because I think that we are experimenting still, but there's got to be a cool way to make it like look cool and be aesthetic, but also functional.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
My problem was playing without, like, when it was just the 3 of us, I was like, this is cool. I like playing live, but it was like I felt very I'm used to a full band, and I'm like, I felt naked because neither of you guys were both stationary, and I was like, I'm just up here, and I like wanted more stuff to happen, and now I feel like comfortable.
Well, that's right. You can't really run around either.
No, we cannot.
Yeah. I
mean, as far as my arms can go.
And I wasn't the first drummer, second drummer. There was like some other person that tried it, right?
our friend from here, Rhea, tried, but she ended up having a baby.
Oh.
She was great too, but
Yeah.
we never played live with her.
Yeah, I just remember being like, yeah, we tried this out, didn't work out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, she was
it seems like you and Kevin get along, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
She was jamming, and then she's like, I'm gonna have a baby, I can't do it. I'm like, oh, that's great, but also terrible for us, but
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, she's rad, but it was great that it worked out, because I was like, oh, why don't we just do this? And it did obviously work. I mean, adding a new member is always weird, we know that. So yeah, adding a new member is always weird, but
Explain that.
They always go a little
Adam's
weird.
here, baby.
They always go a little weird, and then they have to be removed.
But I do think like all of our, I mean, I think most of our stuff, like even you know in Retox and also now when you're in Cunts, like I feel like Mike Crane, the guitar player of both those bands, derives strange sounds through pedals, and that makes it, it kind of fits into the world of like the sci-fi shit, you know, like.
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
Fuck.
Or
I wanted to
just
bring this up before you switch subjects.
Okay, let's go back.
But the drumming layout and the look of it, King Crimson plays with 3 drummers.
Yeah.
And they're in the front of the stage, and then the rest of the band are on risers behind them. So they're like,
sick.
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks so dope.
So they have a visual. The drummers don't know what's going on behind them, but
doesn't matter.
they're all.
It almost looks like a Brady Bunch kind of, like that whole disco. I don't know. They're like on their own stage, and the 3 drummers are down below. Just
What's the game show where there's like cubes, and then like
no
there's
whammies. Hollywood Squares.
where that'd be so fucking sick. If we could like, we don't even see each other. We're just in our own squares. That's the setup. Okay, I just figured it out.
Yeah, where are we gonna play at fucking Petco Park?
But I think like the drummer things. I mean, the Locust did it with Gabe. We had him up front.
Up front,
because
yeah,
we didn't have
yeah,
a
yeah.
singer. You know, so we were like, get the fucking dude up there to do the thing, because that's really what he was the performer. You know, he was the front man. And same with King Crimson. It's I feel like if you have it, utilize it.
That was it. Was I mean, that was just their setup for the last like 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But it looks fucking insane.
Yeah.
I saw one. There was this band in Chicago like 10 years ago called My Dad, and they had a bassist and a guitarist. And the guitarist did sing. Was also the vocalist. And they had 3 drummers, and all 3 drummers, in a triangle, would face each other, and then the bassist and guitarist would be on the opposite end of each other. I don't think they went past playing like basement shows, but you know what I mean. But like they broke up, not long after that, but. They used to do that, and they were always, if they didn't have 3, they always had 2. And if you listen to the music, there's no reason for there to be 2.
What was the band name?
My Dad.
They should have been called My 3 Dads with the 3 drummers.
That would have been great.
One of the drummers ended up, his name's Namdi. Oh, you know who that is? One of the drummers was named Namdi, and now he's got a solo thing, and he's like killing it. But I saw them play like a house show forever ago. Also, this band, like one of their first shows, Amygdala from San Antonio. Their first shows were like, I think they had 3 drummers, or was it just 2? But they were like blasting and doing D beats and stuff. It was like a hardcore band
With 3. That could get messy if you're not.
Oh yeah, and, you know, it was funny watching it. I was like, well, I know that guy's clearly the better drummer here, and this guy's like.
So when people watch us, who's the better drummer?
We have our moments. Like,
I know who it is.
Yeah.
You have your own moments.
Besides Kevin, who is it?
Take turns sucking.
It depends on who pisses me off more, pretty much.
But
It's usually Kevin.
There's a band that God, I wish I knew the name of it. They were like they all had triggers on these trampolines. Do you guys know what I'm talking about yet?
No, that
Okay,
sounds
so they had triggers on trampolines, and they all shaved their heads like they were balding men. So they had like bald chunks.
Oh, but they had hair. Like
Yeah,
here.
in the back. But
That's
they
sick.
were jumping. Their performance would be like jumping on these trampolines that were triggered to make the drum beats. Fuck, I wish I remembered the name of it. Maybe if someone watches the podcast, they'll let us know. But I was very
Or I can
impressed.
just look it up on my phone really
You
quick.
maybe could, but
But
I
I
was
don't
very
wanna.
impressed how they redefined that. So it's like, oh, you see fucking weird balding looking dude, fake balding dudes on trampolines
That's sick.
playing the beat.
What kind of venues would that band play? Some dude's house?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that kind of shit.
that's where that
Yeah.
goes. Like,
But also like seeing that in a big venue, like with
It would be
the,
cool.
The ceiling has to be the ceiling can't be too low because you'll hit your head. But seeing it
at like
it
House of Blues or something would
that would
be.
be fucking great.
We're in Blue Man Group territory with that then.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The ultimate drummer band. You can't
I don't know.
forget
There's
about
a lot of weird shit out there. I just saw Corey Feldman. That was fucking terrible. I couldn't
Oh
believe it.
yeah,
I was like,
wondering how that
it
was.
terrible. At one point though, Corey went on drums and the drummer sang a Beatles song or something. It was so fucked. Yeah, he's a Beatles
Damn,
song.
he gets the good coke.
Dude, it was terrible. It was terrible.
that. Sounds cool.
I mean,
I
what
know.
did it like sell out? Was there people?
There was a lot of people there. I emailed the management so many times, be like, dude, come on our podcast, and he's, you know, whatever, really
Really?
small change, but I was like, fucking probably good thing he's not here. I wanted to get him on the podcast and only talk about Friday
He's
13th.
just a lost boy,
Yeah.
anyways.
Right, he killed Jason Voorhees. That was pretty good.
Stand By Me.
Yeah, he
Right?
did. And he was in Stand By Me.
What kind of crowd? Like, what kind of people pay to see that?
It was crazy, dude. I don't know. Mainly like older than me. It looked like, but also I look a bit younger, but so I couldn't tell. But it looked like older people. And the weird thing is they showed Lost Boys, and everyone fucking stood there for 2 hours.
Yeah,
and then-
after, right?
No,
Oh, shit.
before.
Oh, really?
So they and it's crazy because then when the credits started rolling and everyone's cheering, you'd think he'd come out fucking hard. He sends his son out, and his son's like, "Corey will be out in 15 minutes." And everyone's like, "What the fuck? We've been standing here for 2
He has a
hours."
son?
Yeah, it was
Michael
such
Jackson the dad?
So it's like fans of his that are like no offense to his audience. I'm just wondering, like, is it people that are there for him as an actor, or people actually like his music?
You know what?
I think it's
don't.
an
Because
actor.
is it actual music? Is it
Yeah,
is
he
it
and he
covers?
sings and he does a good job.
I don't
There's
think anybody likes his music. It's terrible.
someone does. Maybe they don't like it. I don't know.
Somebody
It's
likes our
fucking
shit.
kind of. I know. It was pretty wild, dude. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I don't know what the fuck people were doing there. I mean, I didn't pay, so I'm glad. But if I paid, I would have been pissed. It was bad. Anyhow, back to this band. we can't headline.
The backyard party with the trampolines.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, I guess if my movie career didn't get off to a very good start, so otherwise we'd be headlining House of Blues, and we'd have the Angels and all that stuff.
You guys played House of Blues, right? Or was it Observatory?
Us three.
We played House of Blues, but
House
it
of
was a
Blues.
music awards
Yeah.
that we didn't win.
So you have done it though.
yeah, this band played House of Blues. It was fine. That was an okay thing. People were seated. It was awkward,
Yeah.
I think it's funny about this band.
With Lyle.
Since I've been in it, I think we've only played like San Diego a couple times, and we've played New York and Dallas.
Yeah,
I just think that's funny. Bands don't do that.
Boston.
Oh, in Boston, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like,
We
I don't know.
piggyback off the Satanic Temple.
Yeah, but it's just funny. I don't think I've done that before. We're like, oh yeah, we're gonna play Dallas. We're based in San Diego. I don't know. I think it's kind of funny.
Usually they focus on like local.
Usually bands that I've played in, you're like, okay, let's like play where we live.
That
and then
Dallas show
we'll play
might have
town over-
been
That Dallas show.
What's
our
the best
best
show?
That was cool.
easily the best show.
That was the funnest show.
Yeah.
I heard this last one was our best sounding show, though.
Dude,
100%.
that was crazy because right away everything was moving, like everything was vibrating, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" But Otto was
Last-
like redline.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was like
yeah,
redlining the board, and everything was like vibrating, and I was like, "Holy shit!" All of my pedals are.
That's
about to fall
that's how I play it, because I can never hear shit, and it's like muscle memory, and then the vibration of the floor.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
that's
whole
how I know
fucking
how to-
stage was vibrating. It was really
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was great.
Then we're off to something. We're off to a good start if that's happening. But the Dallas
Yeah,
one was cool
Otto was
because
great.
we played to a very unsuspected crowd there for the film festival. I think it wasn't like normal music people, so they were like, they weren't jaded, and they were like dancing, and it was
They were psyched and they wanted us to continue
open
on.
to it.
Yeah.
yeah.
There was dancing during our set, and then of course there was dancing in the cumbia section
Yeah.
at the end,
Yeah.
where Kevin got on my shoulders.
jump on your
Yeah,
shoulders
he jumped on
and
my
went
shoulders.
around.
We were all
Yeah.
dancing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got on my shoulders.
Yeah.
We like broke down a little bit, and then I was like, just get on my shoulders, fuck it, because you went on my shoulders during the film, like some film that was going on.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, let's put you on my. The movie was playing. And
I
we
thought it'd be really funny if we look like a really tall dude just like walking while the movie.
Oh,
was
because
playing.
Shadow?
So for the
Yeah,
people on the
just really
podcast,
behind.
we played behind the movie screen. And
Yeah.
So, but you think that you could see the shadow? No.
No. Walking from walking to behind. So like walking like down the aisle
Oh.
to go behind. We were like, oh, let's put Kevin on my shoulders, and just walk back there and hope we can do it. We have a video of it.
We'll have to put that on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Should have done
Yeah.
it behind the screen though. now that I'm
That's what
thinking
I
about
thought, but I don't
yeah,
think you could see.
Ted was following us down the aisle,
it. Yeah.
and then we made it over. It was insane.
So
and then I was like,
basically,
we
you
should
guys were dicking out on the people trying to watch a fucking movie.
Well, we did it
that
on the
some
dude.
hardworking
No.
director.
We did it on the side. We
But
did it
that
on the
movie was
side.
bullshit. The movie wasn't bullshit, but it was afterwards the Q&A. They were talking about fucking Spider-Man and shit. I was like, dude, get it over with. The
Yeah.
Q&A thing.
Spider-Man. I bet you like
That
Star
Q&A
Wars.
was brutal, dude. I was like, this guy needs to stop.
No, I remember we were on the stage listening to him,
Yeah.
like getting ready to play,
It was.
and I remember like
We weren't getting
this
ready.
is
We were
not
waiting
gonna end.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Talking about modern, new, current Spider-Man. It was bad.
yeah.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Who's Spider-Man again?
So anyway, stage setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? The Cubes? What's the game show again? So remember?
Hollywood Squares.
Oh,
Hollywood
yeah.
Squares. Okay.
Squares.
All right. I'm gonna plan that out.
You be the X and I'll be the O.
All right.
See, that's deep.
Yeah. So you always want us to have guest people on the songs, which is pretty
I
rad.
don't always want that.
Oh,
You mainly want that.
I
heard.
like it.
yeah, I like
Yeah.
it too. But I think we should just get a second singer.
Yeah. The new LP is like mainly
Hey, buy me a
features,
drink
right?
first. Okay.
There's like
it's
two
loaded.
songs that don't have features.
Yeah, it's maybe one.
This
more.
one has a lot of features,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there are a lot of good features.
All the
I
raddest,
don't know.
all the raddest.
I
hip-hop
just like
bands
your
have
voice so much.
Thanks, but that's not appropriate and necessary. But all the rad hip hop bands have more than one MC.
It's true.
LL Cool J,
Never heard of him.
Rakim.
Anyhow, I think it'd be fucking sick. Why are you opposed to it?
I'm not opposed to it. It's just got to be a right fit.
Yeah.
Well, what about an MC?
But isn't that so? Can you? I'm gonna sound like an ignorant asshole, but can you explain to me the difference then?
I mean, well, I guess I fucked that because an MC is rapper, MC, whatever. Like, I use the term as MC as a rapper just now, and that's what I'm gonna. But like an MC is one who can like conduct and like control the crowd. You know, in and out through.
Yeah, like a hype man guy.
A hype
shows.
guy.
Yeah, we need
Not
more hype guys.
necessarily a hype guy,
And a hype guy
though,
on the
because
record
he
would be
can-
cool, too.
He can rap like KRS-One, MC. You know,
But KRS-One was the singer of of his thing. Okay, what about like Public Enemy? Chuck D's the dude.
Yeah,
But Flavor
Chuck D's the
Flav did
dude.
all the hooks and whatever.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I mean. It's like if I would if you wanted to be up for something like that, then I would suggest getting like a rapper like Rick Scales,
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that, as opposed to not another singer.
Got it.
as
Yeah,
you're
because
singing.
I'm not a rapper.
Mm-hmm. And which would be sick to pair, because then if we got somebody to do a 16-bar verse, I would flip the fucking style up to where it wasn't hip hop. I
Okay.
would go way heavy and then let you do the hip hop
But,
part.
okay,
Or
so
I don't
I-
know. It's just ideas.
And I think that's rad. But here's another thing, because all of like your homies that were the hip hop dudes, when they were hearing Planet B, they're like, this shit's fucking crazy, and they were telling me like, you should go to these rap battles and fucking do that. And then I'm thinking
I
in my
agree,
head,
should.
what's the difference then? Am I rapping? It's all in the same.
Kind of.
I don't know. But does it have to be? What does it have to be like? Why does it have to be like? And working with Rick Scales was fucking sick. But my only problem with like Rick Scales' delivery is that like he's not yelling. Like even on that
Yeah,
song
it's
with
all laid
Rick,
back.
it feels fucking
Yeah.
crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm just yelling. And then and he does his thing.
It's the
And
best
rad.
line.
It is. The sheesh is the best thing for sure. But you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, like match my energy. Let's both fucking go for it.
Nah, that's one thing about you. I notice you always like trying to get people to match your energy, and I don't think it works all the time. I'm more of a person that would rather contrast your energy.
Yeah.
Like, cause you're always like,
Yeah,
oh,
I think the contrasting's cooler always.
yeah.
It's always better.
To
Like
me,
if Rick Scales was in this band, that'd be ideal. You have like screamer, you have rapper.
Yeah.
Same
It
thing.
just feels like the new.
It's kind of like
Needs
how
to be different.
it's kind of
Way
like how all
different.
the shitty bands do like the screaming
I fucking
screaming
hate that
verses
shit,
and the
though.
auto-tune
I don't
choruses.
wanna- yeah, I
that's
hate
what
that
04 stuff. It's great.
I
Yeah.
hate that shit.
Yeah, it's
There's
badass.
no auto-tune.
No, but-
Definitely no auto-tune.
That's
you
for the
know,
metalcore
The
people.
metalcore like bullshit, singy, screamy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, ugh. I don't.
Or that's
wanna
a big thing in pop too. You have like the rapping verse and then
Singer.
the singer chorus. That's a classic.
Yeah, that's
So then you'd be like
kinda lame,
screaming on the
too.
choruses, and Rick is like on the verses. Or
To me,
something.
I guess
Something like that.
my reference points are bands like Fugazi, like they both sing equally, or the Blood Brothers, they both like are the singers. You know, like no one's rapping in those examples. But like, what about I don't know, Run the Jewels? They're equal, or NWA. They're
yeah,
all
that's true.
fucking equal in the way they like deliver it. It's not like the screamy dude and the not screamy dude. So like, I'll do maybe we can meet in the middle. Like I'll do my best to be like that, and
You
they
gotta chill out.
they could fucking go for it a little bit more.
You got to chill out a little bit.
No, I think
that.
you got to go a little more full throttle.
All right, whatever. I just think it'd be
You gotta get
rad.
into
It'd be rad to
triplets.
like have lines split up. Like even when you hear like hip hop and you have the MC, I guess, like just tagging certain words. Like that shit's fucking sick. I would like to do that with someone else. Please don't take that away from me.
Yeah, Linkin
Luke.
Park would do that.
You going to fuck
Mike
every-
Shinoda would be rapping. Chester Bennington would be like,
I don't know.
"Yeah,"
I've never
or
heard
whatever.
of that. I've never heard that band. I just think they have a turntablerist.
Yeah, they get a DJ.
Yeah, DJ.
Ooh, you need to re-say that.
Turntable.
Well, I was gonna say I was
I
gonna
just
say have a
like-
turntable, and then I was like, he's just some guy, right, that stands there and pushes.
Turd
Mr. Han.
is.
That's what you're talking about. One thing I like about being the youngest is that I have like terrible reference
Yeah.
points.
I know he's a turntable,
Like when I was-
but I just wanted to. I was trying to demoralize the guy and like say he's just
His name's
something.
Mr. Han.
Cool.
Han
Han?
Solo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like solo. I don't know.
Was it H? Yeah.
That's cool. Anyhow, I want another singer in this band if we're gonna keep going. Otherwise, we're breaking up.
All right. Good to know you guys. One and two.
Can we say the name of the record?
Yeah. Go and say it.
Why is that name? Why is it that?
Oh man.
Prediction.
Fiction
Fiction.
prediction.
Fiction prediction. I forget what it was.
I don't know how we got to that point. Luke was like, "Oh, I like that." I had all these other fucking bullshit ideas, and then
I
Is it-
stole
is
that
it-
name.
Where'd you steal from?
I stole it from. I stole it from. Well, I didn't. When I had this something in my head
because
and
there's
I
lyrics
thought
talking about predict and unpredict.
Yeah. No, I thought I stole it from Unite,
Oh.
and then I didn't know that, and I'm like, hey, dude.
In our lyrics, there's science, nonfiction, and there's unpredict, and then predict.
Yeah, I know.
So then I
Yeah.
think it's like right. I was like, somehow we got to that.
There.
Don't give Unite the credit, dude.
I'm not giving him the credit.
I'm just joking.
Because I fucked it up, but I told when I like it was like fiction prediction, and then I'm like, dude, I could not figure it out. I didn't know it was his shit, but me and him did a song a long time ago that he says fiction prediction, something non-fiction, and I didn't know it until afterwards. Everything was done and said, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's your
dude,
lyric.
I fucking bit your shit. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, fiction prediction. And he's like, I don't ever say that. I'm like, all right, cool, never mind.
I thought it was from the lyrics of that one song. That's
Well,
what-
it was from that,
Yeah.
but that's what drew me to that. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be with fiction prediction, dumpster something, like dumpster.
probably toilet something.
Yeah. or-
So the record was gonna be called like Dumpster
So,
Toilet.
yeah.
and then you guys were like, that's not
So
gonna
I
work.
think I had his melody in my head, but with your lyrics.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
okay.
he was like, no, his line is like something completely different, but
Yeah.
it's those same syllables.
Because I think it's two different songs where I say gamble and predict and then unpredict, and there's another song where I say it's science,
Yeah,
nonfiction.
predict science nonfiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's how the name came about, and
So yeah, it did come from you.
and then we tried to shop this to every label, and they said no, and so now it's on 31G. So fuck you, music industry.
Well, just because people don't know how to label this, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's a band that's.
I just said it's sci-fi hip-hop.
It's
It's already done.
unmarketable.
Yeah.
To whom?
Just sci-fi.
Yeah.
I just say sci-fi.
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 That's kind of cool. Just leave it at that. It's
Yeah,
science
you
fiction.
don't like sci-fi?
Yeah,
Sci-fi
science
Who
music.
doesn't
fiction,
like sci-fi?
Well, it's funny because when I
labels?
so we're distributed by the Orchard digitally, and when you
They
when
hate
you
Twilight Zone.
when you put a record out like through the Orchard, which feeds over to Apple Music and Spotify and stuff, you pick a genre and then you pick a subgenre, and I'm like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? I don't even want to tell you guys what I picked because I think I probably fucked up. No matter what I picked, if I picked punk or hip hop, they're gonna fucking drop, or industrial. Then you get this other weird bullshit subgenres, and I'm like, man, this is fucking stupid. And then I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Usually that just gets lumped in other or experimental.
Yeah.
Do they have that?
I don't know, but like a good example is like, well, there's a lot of people that do weird shit, but
That's what I want to start saying when people like, hey, what kind of music you like? Other.
Other's great.
You know when they have like genres and you're like, I don't know.
But people always refer to like Death Grips, like, oh, that, like, even when we played, you guys are like Death Grips, and I'm like, I appreciate people
And
saying
they call that shit like noise rap or something. I've heard that.
But I appreciate it because I like Death Grips, but I'm like, how do we sound like that? I think we sound like Public Enemy. Like, to me,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we sound more like Public Enemy than we do like Death Grips. So I just think it's just this industry thing where like people fucking shit the bed all the time. So they're like, what do we call it? I don't know. And like, we have to call it something. It has to be like something else. Like, why can't it just be its own shit? I struggled with it for most of my musical career, where it was just like, I'm in a band that doesn't fit in anywhere. And eventually, after a decade, people like it. But until you get to the decade, they don't like it. So we got a few more years to go.
Wow.
You still gonna be here with us, Kevin?
A few more years. What is it? Right? How many years are we right now?
Your bull riding career ain't gonna take off.
Shit. We'll see.
Oh, fuck this planet. Regular Earth.
Yeah.
Planet A?
I'm joking.
Planet A. Fuck it.
But yeah, hopefully people get their shit together, and hopefully we. I mean, we're not going to change the world. We're just a band, but maybe someone will be like, "Oh, this weird science fiction shit. I can relate to that. I'm gonna go fucking sink a whaling ship," and that would be really cool. So maybe we're inspiring people to sink whaling ships.
The whales are sinking the yachts.
They're doing it themselves. It's
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
It's pretty cool. They're on their own thing. We need to link up with those guys.
Good for them.
Which is funny because there's sounds that Luke's created. I'm like, that sounds like a fucking whale. Keep that. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool. It sounds like a whale. No normal musicians like put the whale sound on the song.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, Luke, what you do and what you come up with. There's like the new song that's like from a Def Club recording, and you just like took the little beat and then you made it a thing.
Oh, your drums.
Yeah, from the new thing, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't even. How did
Oh,
that
that's
even...
from the Split 7-inch, right? Or what's
no,
that from?
No. It's like
Anything
a
with
new. It's a new. It's like new.
No, the new Split 7-inch.
No, the newer
It's
than that.
that.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
No,
It's not a song quite yet.
It's from. It's like.
No, I know what it's from.
drums
Yeah.
From.
Yeah.
Leftover drums from
Yeah.
the Def Club
Split
session.
7, yeah.
Yeah, from that.
Oh, so we haven't done anything with that yet.
We haven't done anything with that, but I just remember you sent me that clip, and I was like, "Where the fuck? When did I do that? Like, what the fuck is this?" And then I just think that's like so cool. And then you're like, "Okay, we're gonna just make that a song." I think it's crazy, but that you have that ear for it is like bizarre to me. Or like the adult song "Glass in the Trash," where I sent one thing, and then the beat for that song I think is like in 7 or something bizarre, but like a uncomfortable 7. Like I know how to play. Like I'm
What
comfortable.
happened is
I'm comfortable with 7, but that particular 7 I'm not.
I clipped
comfortable
it
with.
wrong. It should have been a 4/4, but when I cut up your guys' drums, I would like cut up a certain loop, or so I had cut it wrong, and then I was just I liked what you originally did, and I cut it wrong, and looped it and bounced it and gave it to him. And he's like, "Yeah, this is not 4/4." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And then so you just recorded over that same time signature, and then I was like, "Oh, this kind of works." And then I gave it to Adam, and Adam's like, "This is great." And I'm like, "Oh, so it was an accident. It was supposed to be in 4/4."
Remember when we did
But I got lazy
to promote it? We did the little video at the practice space. We had to like learn that.
Oh
beat.
yeah.
Oh,
great.
that was.
Well, yeah,
messed
the
up.
video was cool, but whatever about that.
Yeah.
The hard part was
Learning it.
learning
Yeah.
that fucking
Yeah.
beat. I was like, and it took a long time of me just going like, I
Dude,
think
I'm
it's
not even a
this.
drummer, but like listening to it, trying to follow the phrase, I was like, oh man,
yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah,
You
the-
had to sing over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we are like learning it just to make that little video, and it was like, I don't think we quite got it, but it looks good enough in the cut.
I
in
don't
the
think
edit.
I quite got it.
Yeah, it's like dun, 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 whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a funny part about this band is that, and I've said this before, but is that I like put these parts down, they get kind of rearranged, and then we learn that. Or for the song, like the LP songs that I have nothing to do with, that I'm like putting stuff on top of it that's not the same thing. Sometimes I do the same thing, and then in that we try to go back and forth to try to make it a live version.
Yeah.
But then also, yeah, it's a funny project because like my normal band life is like I'm the drummer, this is it, and then this is like, okay, I recorded these parts. It'll turn into something
different,
I'm gonna learn that, and then I gotta learn it well enough that I can like do more on top or do something different. And then working with Kevin, who's thank somebody that he's like so because of our other band.
Yeah. GAWD.
Yeah, GAW. Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
It's so nice that Kevin's like really good, so then I can just be like, "Yo, you should do this," or whatever, or like earlier today, like, "Oh, we should do this drum idea," or whatever. So it's such a weird brain like mental process to do this band, because it's like in other more regular bands, it's just like, this is my beat, I do it forever.
Sure.
See you later.
But that's an interesting thing too. Like like regular bands, like you think about hip hop, no one did. I don't know, Luke, tell us. Do people write in 7 on hip hop normally? Yeah.
No, it's not a thing.
Fuck that.
A couple people have tried it. You can't do it in hip hop all the time. Like I'm working on a track with somebody right now to where.
Wait, you're cheating on us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
shit.
one. It's a one-off.
Okay.
But I was talking to him about the structure, and it was just like 4/4. Hip hop. But I was like, at the end of every 4 bars, let's just kick in like a 3/4, but just really quick. 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Yeah.
And then go back into the 4/4 to where it has the flow.
So it's like a
You
4/4
can't-
with a tag.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. But you can't. I mean, some people have done a lot of 3/4s because you can 1 2 3 1 2
Yeah.
3 1 like.
Yeah.
But even that has a little like that little swagger doesn't really work. It's not like hip hop is very just in your face,
Yeah.
and it has to be 4/4. You can go and like do some prog rock or math rock kind of drums to it.
Dude, that band, I showed you the song, Story 2 by Clipping. They do this track that's like starts in
It's fucked.
It starts in 3 for like a few measures,
Yeah.
and then an equal amount it goes into 4, and then it goes into 5, then it goes into 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, and then I think it does like weird, like 16th,
Do you know about this
note.
band? I feel like you should know about it.
Yeah,
What is it called?
Clipping.
Yeah. It's fucked up. And
But yeah,
like,
this the
MC
MC
is, like,
David
the
Diggs
best,
is like
dude.
the best one ever.
The fucking
But
best.
the song Story 2 goes from like 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, and then I originally counted it 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, but that's where it gets tricky with like
Yeah.
triplets and 16ths and 16th notes or whatever, so you can do whatever with that. They also have a song that is in straight 7, and it's like crazy. And I read an interview with David, and he was like, it was the hardest thing ever to do.
Let's end this podcast, guys.
What?
Let's end this podcast.
Oh,
All right
Let's
then,
end
yeah.
it.
There we go.
Smash it on your head,
There we go.
Whoa.
There you had it, episode 36. Thanks for listening and viewing our podcast. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoy our band. If we were a normal band and only had one drummer, we might be touring more. But we're going to be hopefully on the road soon, and hopefully you can check it out in the real life, the real world.
Yeah. And we probably won't listen, but if you have any ideas for us to do on the 3rd album, let us know.
We probably won't listen. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors. Obviously, Earthquaker Devices, Heartwork, Fender, Ruinous Media for having us be part of their podcast conglomerate. I also like to thank Andy Wallace and Becky DiGilio for all the help they give us. And everybody else. You guys for listening. And check out our other episodes. They're all awesome too. Because all of our guests are our friends and they rule. Thank you very much.
Colton Culture is proudly sponsored by Earthquaker Devices, Fender, and Heartwork Coffee.
Planet B.